Okay, guys, I'm just going to do a quick overview of what 9.3 is like. It won't take too long because it's just multi-step equations, and we've sort of already gone over a lot of this stuff before. But I just wanted to recap what's important on the page that's assigned, and it'll just help us to do some of the worksheets that we're going to be doing in the next week or so. So the first thing is that you want to remember to flip the sign only when you do a multiplication or a dividing operation by a negative number. Remember that you have to be multiplying by or dividing by that number. So just because it's in the answer, so for instance, if we had 5x is less than, say, 10, negative 10. In this case, we're dividing by a positive 5. So even though this is negative 5 divided by positive 5, we don't flip it in this case. We only flip when we are dividing by a negative number. So this is dividing by negative 5, dividing by negative 5. And so in this case, we would flip the sign, just so that you understand that, okay? The second thing is that we want to solve equations by doing the opposite operation. So that's basically what we did the whole time that we were doing chapter 8, making sure that when there's an addition sign, you subtract. When there's a multiplication sign, you divide. You always do the opposite. If you see a double rainbow, always do it first. So this is something that we learned back in chapter 8. But if you have an equation like 2x plus 3, and then there's like, I don't know, a plus 4 over here is less than 10, you always want to do this double rainbow first. So whenever you're seeing a double rainbow, I want you to complete it before you do anything else. Even if it's using fractions, whatever, just always do it first. Put the fraction inside and then make the bottoms the same, but do the double rainbow first. You want to change these types of mixed fractions, so like 2.5, to improper fractions, right? So this would be moving this over. If we have 2.5, we would multiply the 2 to the 2, which is 4, plus 1 is 5, so this would be 5 over 2. So make sure that you're converting all your fractions to look like that. When dealing with fractions, make sure that the bottoms are the same. So as we see this example right here, we notice that we have a 3 and a 2. So we know we're going to make the bottoms the same. We're going to make them into 6. And so you would multiply the 3 by 2, and you multiply the 2 by 3. And so then we would do the same to the top, and we would get 2 over 6x is greater than 3 over 6. And then you can solve your equation because you can bam the bottoms out. So just make sure to make the bottoms the same and then bam the bottoms. And remember to put all variables on one side of the inequality sign and all numbers on the other side of the inequality sign. So what I mean by that is if you have something like 2x plus 3 is greater than 4x minus 5, we need to make sure that we put all the x's together on one side. So that's what I'm doing right now. And so I would have negative 2x plus 3 is greater than negative 5. And then we would need to move all of the numbers over to one side. So we'd have negative 2x is greater than negative 8. And then we could divide by negative 2. Because we divide by negative 2, we have to flip the sign. And so this is what our answer would be right here. X is less than 4. So that's just important for you to remember, that you want to put all of the numbers onto one side and all of the letters onto another. So I've just posted some examples here, and I'll walk you through them, but I'm not going to do too many. But just remember that when you have a scenario like this, you can subtract 3 and get rid of it, subtract 3 from the other side, and then we would bam the bottoms by bamming the 4 out. Another way that you could do this particular question is make the bottoms all the same first. It's kind of an extra step, but it's not a wrong step. And so, for instance, we would put all these over 1. We would put everything over 4. And so this would be over 4. So that's times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. And this would be over 4. That would be times 4. So that's 32. And then we could bam the bottoms out here, and we would get x plus 12 is greater than 32. Looks like we can subtract 12 from here, and we would get x is greater than 20 here. So you could do it that way as well, but my way here is just removing the plus sign and just doing the opposite by minusing. When you have a question like this and you see that there's this this mixed fraction, you want to change it immediately to the improper fraction right there. So you'll notice what I've done here is that I've changed it, and then I have to add the 1 underneath the 5 to make all of the bottoms the same. I'm going to make them all 2. I bam the bottoms, and then I solve by doing my math. Remember that subtraction is not a flip, it's only multiplying or dividing by a negative number, so nothing happens there. 3x is less than or equal to negative 7. We would divide this by 3, and then we would get this answer right here. The most complex questions you'll see in your textbook are when there is a double rainbow involved with an inequality sign. So like I said, you always do the double rainbow first. So we're putting this negative 2 inside and we're multiplying. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x, and negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6, less than or equal to 10x plus 18. In this particular step, I'm moving the numbers to be the same, and then I'm moving my letters to be the same by adding and subtracting, so there is no flipping of the equal sign. After I finish, I have negative 12x is less than or equal to 24. Here I've got to divide by negative 12, and here is the important piece. Because I've divided by a negative number, I need to flip the sign. So in this case, instead of this being less than or equal to, it would become greater than or equal to negative 2, and that would be my answer. So these are the most complex questions that you're going to get. It may involve some fractions. Again, I just want to remind you that even if there's a fraction in front of this double rainbow, please do it first and then make your bottoms the same. All right, so that's just super important. There's some U-tries that you can do on your own here just to see if things are going well and that you are flipping correctly. I'll go through the answers with these ones, and if you have any other questions, then you can ask. All right, so here we go. So the first one is just minus 11. So we have 4x is greater than 24. Divide by 4. Because that's positive, I don't flip it. X is greater than 6. That's the correct answer here. In this case, I want to make all of the numbers and letters on the same side. So I'm going to move the 10x to be with this 2. So 5 minus, looks like it gets more minusy, 12x. Greater than 29. I'm going to minus the 5 here, minus the 5 here. Negative 12x is greater than 29 minus 5 is 24. I would divide by negative 12. Because I divided by negative, I would flip my sign. X is less than, and this would be negative 2. The last instance is a double rainbow question. So you want to make sure that you multiply those in. 4x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 5x minus 12. Then here I need to move my letters to be with my letters. So I would do this, and I would get negative 1x minus 8 is greater than or equal to negative 12. I would have to add 8 here, add 8 to this side, and I would get negative 1x greater than or equal to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's negative 4. Divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. Again, I divided by a negative number, so I flip the sign, and then I get a positive 4. So guys, this is basically what 9.3 is all about. It's just about using your math that we've done over and over again, solving equations by using a few more steps, making sure that you remember all of the rules from the top here. I'll post them into the document just in case you need to check it. But just make sure that you're doing everything that you did before, and remembering that flipping the sign only happens when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Awesome.